Somewhere right now, someone is closing a credit card, and they have no idea they just made one of the most expensive mistakes of their financial life. Not because of debt, not because of fraud, because of something almost nobody explains to you before you do it. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what that something is and how to avoid it. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah did everything right. She paid off a credit card she'd had since college, zero balance, zero debt. She felt free. So she did what felt like the responsible thing. She cut it up, closed the account, threw away the plastic like it was trash. 3 months later, she applied for a car loan. Denied. She checked her credit score. It had dropped almost 80 points. She hadn't missed a single payment. She hadn't borrowed a single extra dollar. So what happened? The answer is something banks never put in bold letters on your statement. And it's about to change how you think about every card in your wallet. Here's the thing most people get wrong. They think a credit card is just a payment tool. Swipe it, pay it off, done. But behind the scenes, that card is doing 3 invisible jobs for your credit score every single month, jobs you don't even know are happening. And when you close the card, all 3 of those jobs disappear at once. Today, we're breaking down exactly what those 3 jobs are, what really happens the moment you close a card, and the specific situations where closing one is smart versus the situations where it can quietly wreck your score for years. Stick around, because job number 2 is the one that surprises almost everyone. Job number 1 is called your credit utilization. Think of it like this. Imagine you have a bucket that can hold 10 liters of water. If you pour in 2 liters, the bucket looks mostly empty. Lenders like that, it means you're not maxed out. Now imagine someone takes away half your bucket. Suddenly those same 2 liters look like the bucket is half full. Nothing about your spending changed. But it looks riskier. That's exactly what happens when you close a card. Your total available credit shrinks, but your balances on other cards stay the same. Your utilization percentage jumps up even though you didn't spend a single extra dollar. And utilization is one of the biggest pieces of your credit score. But here's what almost nobody talks about. Job number 2 isn't about money at all. It's about time. And it might matter even more than job number 1. Your credit score doesn't just look at what you owe, it looks at how long you've been trusted with credit. That old card Sarah closed? She'd had it for 8 years. It was one of the oldest accounts in her entire credit file. When she closed it, that account didn't vanish from her history immediately, but it started an aging clock. Closed accounts eventually fall off your credit report entirely, usually around 10 years later, and when it disappears, so does the length of history it was giving you. Lenders trust people with a long track record more than people who look brand new, even if the brand new person has a perfect record so far. By closing her oldest card, Sarah didn't just lose a piece of plastic. She started slowly erasing years of trust she had spent nearly a decade building. And that brings us to job number 3, the one that decides whether closing a card is actually dangerous or barely a blip. Most people get this one completely backwards. Lenders don't just want to see that you can handle one type of credit. They want to see you can juggle different kinds responsibly, credit cards, loans, maybe a mortgage down the line. Having a healthy number of active accounts of different types shows range. Close enough accounts and your file starts to look thin. Thin files are harder for algorithms to score confidently, and when a system isn't confident, it tends to play it safe by lowering your number. So now you know all 3 hidden jobs: utilization, history, mix, close a card, and you're not just closing a piece of plastic, you're touching all 3 at the exact same time. So does that mean you should never close a card? Not exactly. There's actually a right way and a wrong way to do this, and the difference could save you 80 points just like Sarah lost. Here's the part banks definitely don't advertise. Sometimes closing a card is the right move. If a card has a high annual fee and you're not using the rewards, keeping it open purely for score reasons can cost you real money every single year for a benefit you're not even using. If a card is tempting you into overspending, if just having it open makes you spend more than you would otherwise. The psychological cost can outweigh the score benefit, and if you're dealing with fraud or an abusive joint account tied to someone you no longer trust financially, your safety and your money matter more than a score. The key is doing it strategically, not emotionally. Which brings us to the exact step-by-step method that protects your score even when you do need to close a card. This next part is what separates people who close cards safely from people who end up like Sarah. Step 1. Never close your oldest card unless you absolutely have to. If you have multiple cards and need to close one, close a newer one instead. It protects your credit history age. Step 2. Pay down balances on your other cards before you close anything. Remember the bucket. If you shrink the bucket, make sure there's even less water in it first. Step 3. If the card has no annual fee, consider just leaving it open with zero balance instead of closing it. A card sitting unused in a drawer costs you nothing and keeps working quietly in your favor. Step 4. If you must close a fee-based card, ask the bank if they'll downgrade it to a no-fee version instead of closing it outright. This keeps the account and its age alive. Step 5. Space out any closures. Don't close multiple cards in the same month. Let your score adjust and recover between changes. Sarah didn't know any of this. But now you do. And that's the difference between losing 80 points by accident and staying in control on purpose. Here's what gets me about Sarah's story. She wasn't careless. She wasn't in debt. She thought she was doing the responsible thing. That's what makes this so important. The financial system doesn't just punish bad decisions, it can quietly punish decisions that look good on the surface but ignore how the system actually works underneath. You don't have to be perfect with money, you just have to understand the rules that are actually being used to judge you. Because the people who build real wealth aren't the ones who avoid every mistake. They're the ones who understand the system well enough that the small mistakes never turn into big ones. So here's your move. Right now, not tomorrow, right now, open your wallet or your banking app and look at your oldest credit card. Before you ever think about closing it, come back to this channel, because we're breaking down exactly how to build a credit score that opens doors instead of closing them, one video at a time. If this saved you from a mistake you didn't even know you were about to make, hit subscribe, because the next video could save you a lot more than 80 points. I'll see you in the next one.